Warm greetings to all the listeners of CrownCom 2021 conference. I am Khushbu Sinha, PhD research scholar under supervision of Dr. Vayan Trivedi from Nirma University, Ahmedabad, India. The topic of my presentation is performance of cooperative spectrum sensing based on random transition of the primary user in Laplacian noise. I'd like to begin by the outline of this presentation, which has been shown in this particular slide. Let us start with the introduction of cognitive radio and spectrum sensing. So, the cognitive radio basically it's an advanced and futuristic and sophisticated technology which was developed by Dr. J. Mottola to address the problem of spectrum scarcity and underutilization of existing spectrum. And cognitive radio can dynamically utilize the idle spectrum, that is when spectrum is not in use by the licensed user or primary user. And spectrum sensing is one of the important function of cognitive radio, in which the spectrum holes are sensed to identify the presence or absence of PU. The slide presents the literature survey in brief. So in spectrum sensing, there always exists a trade-off between detection probability and throughput. It's because as sensing samples increases, detection probability increases. But as a result of no data transmission during the sensing period, throughput decreases. Now let us focus on the case of static and dynamic behavior of the PU. In the case of static PU, so the case of static PU is well documented in reference number 5 to 6, and static PU can be well observed in TV broadcast and radar systems. When PU is dynamic, it can change its state, that is either on to off or vice versa during the sensing period. So dynamic nature of the PU is suitable for PU traffic which varies quickly with time, as in the case of wireless medical networks or wireless local area networks. The case of dynamic PU is well documented in reference number 7 to 11. All these surveys consider noise as Gaussian. However, in real communication system, noise cannot be always Gaussian. So, in the scenario of multi-user communications, multiple access interference serves as a dominant noise source. Various noise models such as Class A Middleton noise, Gaussian mixture model, Laplacian noise models MAI. As compared with other noise model, it has been proved that the Laplacian noise model precisely models the MAI in time-hopped ultra-wideband wireless communication system. So, the case of static PU scenario in Laplacian noise has been discussed in reference number 15. So, in reference number 15, the authors have used the case of static PU and they have also used the case of Laplacian noise, but they have used the energy detection technique or energy detection as one of the test statistic. Now, the case of dynamic PU scenario has been shown or has been discussed in reference number 16, but here in reference number 16, the authors have used the Rouse test statistic to model the case of dynamic PU. In our paper, we model the dynamic PU behavior. First of all, we model the dynamic PU behavior. Second, we assume three basic test statistics: energy detection, absolute value accumulation detection, and improved absolute value accumulation detection. Third, we employ cooperative spectrum sensing scheme to model our dynamic scenario. So, these three things we have done or we have taken in our paper. So, the system model of our work is the received signal at each of the L cognitive terminal are expressed as given in equation number 1, where H0 and H1 represents the null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis respectively. So, here under H0 what we can see that there is the random departure of the PU, that is the transitions of the PU is taking place between Xi0 and Xi1 plus 1, and under H1 there is the random arrival of the PU, that is the arrival of the PU is taking place between Xi1 and Xi1 plus 1. So here Xi0, Xi1 and capital N represents the sensing samples. Capital N represents the aggregate sensing samples which is used to sense the presence of PU in the RF band or in the frequency band. Now, average signal to noise ratio, which we have assumed, is shown here in equation number 2. Here in equation number 2, B0 is the shape parameter of Laplacian noise, and the value of B0 we have assumed as 1 throughout our simulation. In equation number 3, the PDF of Laplacian noise is given, where again B0 is the shape parameter. So we have used cooperative spectrum sensing scheme. We have employed cooperative spectrum sensing scheme, where we assume that in total there are L cognitive terminals, and each of the L cognitive terminal uses 3 different T statistics, that is energy detection, absolute value accumulation detection, and improved absolute value accumulation detection, to decide the presence or absence of the PU. Hard decisions from each CR are then sent to the fusion center, that is hard decisions in the form of 0 or 1 are sent to the fusion center by each of the L cognitive terminal, where they are fused according to specified fusion rule, that is CSS AND rule or majority rule. Then the final false alarm probability and detection probability at the fusion center can be derived as given in equation number 4. So finally fusion center decides the presence or absence of PU based on the false alarm probability and detection probability as given in equation number 4. So here K, small k, denotes the number of active cognitive radios present. K is equals to 1 represents OR rule, K is equals to capital L represents AND rule, and K smaller than L represents majority rule. Now this slide marks the performance analysis. So here the performance analysis has been shown for the cooperative spectrum sensing based on energy detection. So here each of the L cognitive terminal are using, or each of the L cognitive terminals, they are using energy detection. And finally, in this case, what happens that likelihood functions under H0 and H1 are expressed as shown in equation number 5. So we have used reference number 19 to get this expression. So here SC0 and SC1. So SC0 and SC1 represents the primary user between samples 1 to psi naught and between samples psi 1 plus 1 to n respectively. Because we have assumed in our system model, we have assumed that the primary user signal, that is SK, is unknown, so it needs to be estimated. So we use GLRT, that is the generalized likelihood ratio test, for spectrum sensing, and then we estimate the value of SK using the maximum likelihood estimation. So the LRT has been shown in equation number 6, where lambda naught is the detection threshold. Similarly, simplifying question number 6, we get the final test statistic for the CSS AD case. And finally, question number 8 shows the detection probability and false alarm probability at each of the CR. So here P subscript small d and P subscript small f represents the detection probability and false alarm probability at each of the LCR. At the fusion center, hard decisions from each CR using equation number 8 are then forwarded. So actually hard decisions from each of the CR using equation number 8 are then forwarded to the fusion center, and there PD and PF at the fusion center are derived from equation number 4. So in equation number 4 we have written the expression of PF and PD. So P capital F and P capital D represents the false alarm probability and detection probability at the fusion center, and P small f and P small d represents the false alarm probability and detection probability at each of the LCRs. So using these expression, fusion center finally find the value of PF and PD, and they decides the presence or absence of PU based on the equations derived. So because we have also assumed that the psi naught and psi 1 are unknown up to this point, so as it is unknown, so it needs to be omitted from the likelihood ratio test. So here if we assume that psi naught and psi 1 follow exponential distribution, then probability of psi naught and psi 1 can be represented as given in equation number 9. So here theta A and theta D represents the arrival rate and departure rate of the PU. So theta subscript A marks the arrival rate of the PU, theta subscript capital D marks the departure rate of the PU, and we have also assumed that theta A and theta d, it follows Poisson distribution with the PDF e to the power minus theta 8t and with the PDF e to the power minus theta dt. So here capital T is the sensing interval or the sample interval. Now 3 cases of PU are considered. So one case is the static PU case, other cases are the dynamic PU cases. So in dynamic PU further there are 2 cases, that is the random arrival of the dynamic PU and random departure of the dynamic PU. So static PU signifies the case of psi naught is equals to 0 and psi 1 is equals to 0. So if we substitute the value of psi naught and psi 1 0 in our system model or in the equations of the hypothesis H0 and H1, finally we get the test statistics as given in equation number 10, and we have used an important property, that is the central limit theorem, to approximate ZED as Gaussian with mean MS and value and variance sigma s square. So MS represents the mean and sigma s square represents the variance. So I haven't written the equations over here in this in our presentation. However, the expression can be found in my paper. So finally the detection threshold can be expressed as given in equation number 12, and after getting the detection threshold and the value of MS and sigma s square, we finally get the false alarm probability at the fusion center. So my main aim is to find out the value of false alarm probability at the fusion center, so that the fusion center can decide whether PU is present or not present, based on the value of false alarm probability and detection probability. Similarly, the case of psi naught is equals to 0 marks the case of random arrival of the PU. So following the steps we obtained above, the decision statistic can be represented as given in equation number 13, and then we express the detection threshold as given in equation number 14 in term of U function, and sigma A naught and mu A naught are basically the standard deviation and the mean of equation number 13, that is of the decision statistics Z. So the expression of mu A naught and sigma A naught under random arrival of the PU case can be represented as given in equation number 15, and mu s and sigma s square can be obtained from 11. Okay, so here this mu A naught and sigma A naught square represents the mean and variance in the case of random arrival. And similarly at the fusion center, PF can be obtained using question number 4. Similarly, for the case of random departure, psi 1 is equals to 0. For the case of random arrival, psi naught is equals to 0. So here also we follow similar steps as we assumed before. So first of all we find out the test statistics ZED in the case of random departure. Then we find the detection threshold, and based on the test statistics and detection threshold we find the mean and variance is expressed in equation number 18. So mu s and sigma s square are the mean and variance as we obtained above in case of static PU case. So and here also finally at the fusion center, PF can be obtained based on the mean and variance. So okay, so up to this particular slide it was the performance analysis of CSS based on energy detection, that is each of the L cognitive radios are using energy detection. So in case of IABCD, because we have also considered IABCD and ABCD, so in case of IABCD what happens that received samples at the cognitive terminal are raised to a positive exponent p with the range of p varies from 0 to 2. So p is equals to 1 marks the special case where p is equals to 1 represents ABCD and p is equals to 2 represents energy detection. So we follow same step as we obtained in the case of energy detection. Here first of all in case of ABCD we find out the likelihood function as expressed in equation number 19. Then we estimate the value of SK over here, and finally we find the test statistics Z IABCD as given in equation number 21. So based on these equations finally at the fusion center PD and PF can be derived. Okay, so this marks so till now we have obtained the false alarm probability, the values of false alarm probability for the case of CSS ED, CSS ABCD and CSS IABCD. So the expressions of detection probability we haven't derived, however we have found the detection probability using simulation. So what happens? Okay, so here we show here the simulation results based on the performance analysis of energy detection, absolute value accumulation detection, and IAVCD, that is improved absolute value accumulation detection. So based on the expressions of false alarm probabilities obtained above, and based on the simulations parameters of the detection probability obtained above, we mark the performance in term of figures or in term of simulations using Monte Carlo. So this figure represents the ROC plot, that is PD versus PF plot for IAVCD based on conventional scheme and CSS or fusion scheme with capital N 50, gamma is equals to minus 2 dB, theta 80 is 10 and theta dt is equal to 0.1. So here what we can see that the CSS or rule perform better as compared to the conventional IAVCD. So the performance of CSS or rule is far better as compared to the conventional IAVCD. So this figure marks the plot of ROC for IAVCD. Okay, so under the assumed parameters. So okay, so this figure, it represents the ROC plot for ABCD based on conventional scheme and CSS or fusion scheme. So here also we can see that CSS or rule perform better as compared to the conventional scheme at different values of theta 80 and theta dt. Moving on to the next figure, here comparison of ROC plot for energy detection based on conventional scheme and CSS. So in case of energy detection also we can see that CSS or rule. So in all the above three figures, that is for IAVCD, for ABCD and for energy detection, so we inferred that the performance of CSS or rule is better as compared to their conventional counterparts. Moving on to the next figure, so next three figures are the PD versus SNR plot, that is we want to see the detection probability over wide range of SNR at a given value of PF, that is false alarm probability. So this figure marks the PD versus gamma comparison, that is PD versus SNR comparison of conventional and CSS or based test statistic at n is equals to 50, capital P is 0.8 and PF is 0.1 when PU randomly arrives or departs. So here we have assumed the value of theta 80 and theta dt as 1. And this figure it shows the PD versus SNR plots for IAVCD, ABCD and ED. So here we can see that for all these three test statistics, the performance of CSS or is far better as compared to their conventional counterparts over a wide range of SNR. Moving on to the next figure, here also the PD versus SNR plot has been shown for the three test statistics IAVCD, ABCD and ED, but here instead of CSS or rule, CSS majority rule has been used, where we are using 2 out of 3 rule, that is 2 active cognitive radio out of 3 present cognitive radio. So here we can see that the performance of conventional test statistic is better than the CSS counterparts up to a specified value of SNR, and beyond that specified value of SNR, the performance of CSS based test statistic is better. As for example, if we see the case of energy detection, so energy detection represents the red star line. Okay, so if we represent the case of if we see the case of energy detection, then we can see that up to value of SNR, that is gamma is equals to minus 1 dB, the performance of conventional ED is better as compared to the CSS majority rule. But after this particular value of SNR, that is after this gamma is equals to minus 1 dB, the red star line perform better, that is the performance of CSS majority rule is better as compared to the conventional. So here we can infer that the performance of CSS majority rule is better as compared to the conventional counterparts for all these three statistics up to a certain specified value of SNR. So for energy detection case, the SNR is minus 1 dB. So beyond minus 1 dB, the performance of CSS majority rule is better. In case of ABCD, the green star line in the case of ABCD. So in case of ABCD, beyond gamma is equals to minus 5 dB, the performance of CSS majority is better. And for the case of IABCD, beyond gamma is equals to minus 6 dB, the performance of CSS majority is better. So up to specified value of SNR, the performance of conventional t-statistics is better, and when that specified value of SNR, the performance of CSS majority rule is better for all these three considered t-statistics. Similarly, here this figure represents the PD versus SNR plot for the three t-statistic, but here CSS and rule is used instead of CSS or and CSS majority rule. Here we are using CSS and rule. Okay, here we are using CSS and rule, and here we can see that the performance of CSS and rule is very less as compared to their conventional counterpart. So CSS, unlike the case of Gaussian noise, in case of Laplacian noise, we cannot use CSS and rule to improve the detection probability. In Gaussian noise, we see that CSS and rule improves the detection probability, but in case of Laplacian noise, the performance of CSS and rule is very less. Okay, so here in this case, the CSS and rule cannot be used to improve the detection probability in all the three considered case, that is ED case, ABCD and IABCD. So we can use CSS or rule if we want a great improvement in the detection probability. We can use CSS majority rule within a specified value of SNR, but we cannot use CSS and rule in case of if we want to improve the detection probability over a wide range of SNR. So CSS and rule is not suitable for the improving the detection probability in the CSS scheme. So here the parameters what we have assumed is n is equals to 50, p is equals to 0.8 and pf is 0.1. And here also we have assumed the value of theta at and theta dt as 1. So the conclusions I have already explained it while explaining the figures. These are the references. Thank you. Please feel free to ask any questions if you have. Thank you.